Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Between the Lines. Coming off the NBA draft last night, we're going to dive right into that as soon as I welcome you to the program. The newest edition of Between the Lines, that NHL draft is tonight. I'll dabble in that. I don't know hockey prospects that well. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Big news out of the Phillies camp. I was going to talk about them anyway today, but now there's another topic to talk about with that lovely, lovely, lovely baseball team we have in South Philadelphia. But, of course, it all starts, and all attention right now is still on the NBA draft and the Philadelphia 76ers. And I talk to my friends, I listen to the radio, you look on social media, you see everyone's opinion, and I still think people aren't getting it. Yes, I wanted D'Angelo Russell more than anything. If he was there at 3 and the Sixers did not take him, I would be off the board, off the bandwagon, completely unsupportive of this whole regime, this whole process. But with the Lakers taking him at 2, I want to talk about that as well because that's a big move. But with Jahlil Okafor there at 3, he's the best player on the board. Up until the tournament and Kentucky going undefeated, Jahlil Okafor was a number 1 pick. He was a consensus number 1 pick. Karl Anthony Towns had a good run to end the season and got himself to be selected number 1 overall, and he's a dynamic talent. He's fantastic. I really hope that kid does well. But Jahlil Okafor falls to you at 3. Yes, you have Nerlens Noel, you have Joel Embiid. If you take D'Angelo Russell, the fans are very secure thinking that Embiid's going to get on the field. On the court. Now, them drafting Okafor, I love it. I am nervous about Embiid's foot. I want him to play. I want to see these 3 7-footers on the court together next year. And it just creates such an interesting dynamic that nobody in the NBA has right now. And this is what I mean by saying that some of these fans, some of the people in this city, and people all over the country, because I feel like the NBA as a whole, the NBA fan base doesn't understand it. This isn't, just because it's the 3rd year, it doesn't mean that this is the year that they push for the playoffs. If you've listened to my past episodes when I've talked about the Sixers, that tag that they came out with January right before they traded Michael Carter-Williams with the hashtag This Starts Now, it does start now. This does start now. Why? Because now you have Nerlens Noel and another piece, possibly 2 more pieces, if Embiid can play. But at least now you have 2 of your 3 members of the front court, and your 3rd member of your front court is coming over next year. If you thought Sarge was coming over after 1 year, you were stupid and don't really understand how this contract situation with the Turkish team actually works. Yes, it is more beneficial for Saric to stay overseas longer because if you have a 4-year rookie deal, you stay there for 3, you come over, play 1 year, and then boom, you're hitting it. If you stay all 4 years, you can come back and your first NBA deal is a bigger contract. Understandable. But he's coming over after next year. The buyout lessens, and you know what? That's when you can really start the flush of talent. But year 3 is the year now that you're going to see Nerlens Noel take that next step, and you're either going to see Jahlil Okafor or Joel Embiid prove themselves to be the center of the future. And I like Jahlil Okafor. I wanted Russell because I think he could be that dynamic player, and I really wanted to see a guard because I'm still thinking, I still have hope that Joel Embiid's foot isn't really that bad. I think they want that just so he doesn't have to play Summer League. I don't think they're 100% confirmed and, consistently feeling that his foot can really withhold a Summer League and then an 82-game NBA season. So I think they came out with that just so they can hold him back and nurse his way through and really let the first 20 games of this season be like his preseason and his summer league and warm up, just kind of like they did with Nerlens. Except Nerlens did play in the summer league, I understand that. But just think about it. Jahlil Okafor is a rare talent. 19 years old, he's 7 foot. Yeah, okay, his body isn't, he's not in the best shape, blah, blah, blah. His body doesn't look so great. He didn't play a lot of defense at Duke. But the offensive skill set that this kid has is phenomenal. And you don't see that in the NBA anymore. You know why teams are taking out their big men and running Draymond Green at center, having LeBron James play center? Because the big guys in this league, and this is the big problem with the NBA right now, a lot of the big men that they take are foreigners. They want the guy that can step out and hit the three. But here's the thing, when those guys get back down in the post, they're completely useless. Draymond Green could back down a 7-footer from Europe because they're lean. They're not defensive-minded. They want to shoot threes. They want to get your center out of the paint to free up the lane. You're not going to be able to do that when you play Philadelphia. Whether it's Okafor and Noel, whether it's Noel and Embiid, whether it's Okafor and Embiid, you're not going to be able to do that. Now is the time that Nerlens Noel can become that defensive specialist and not have to carry so much on his shoulders for offensive contributions. I don't think Nerlens Noel is ever going to be a 20 and 10 guy. I think he's a 15 and 13 kind of guy that'll get you 3 to 4 blocks a game. Why? He's athletic, he's rangy, he's competitive, but he's not an offensive force, and I'm totally okay with that. Now that you have a guy like Jahlil Okafor who has the post ability, the post dominance to take on any big man in the NBA right now. Because Dwight Howard is the best center in the NBA right now. And Dwight Howard is honestly a complete scrub. He's a complete scrub, but he's the best center in the league right now. The Sixers have the best front court in basketball if those three guys can play. And yes, you have 3 7-footers. How are you going to play 3 guys at the 4 and 5? This is what you do. From training camp throughout the season, whoever plays the best is who you play. Those 3 guys are going to battle it out to start and get minutes on this team. And you know what? It could work. Because when teams go small, you can keep 2 of those guys out there. They're athletic enough. Where you can keep them out there. And I said this all throughout the NBA Finals. Why did a big reason Cleveland lost that series is because Golden State dictated to them the type of game that they were going to play. They ran that small lineup, and Cleveland took Mozgov out, and there was their defense. No defense at all. When this team gets good, when this team gets a guard and another guy that can just fill the bucket, when you get down there, when you run half court, there's nobody in the league that's going to stop those guys. When those lineups go small, you can pound it into Okafor. What player under 7 foot will be able to keep up with Jahlil Okafor in the post? The kid is dominant in the post. His footwork in the post, his soft hands, the way he finishes is absolutely phenomenal for a kid at 19 years old. There's nobody that's played that well in the post. I like the LaMarcus Aldridge's post game, but he's not 7 foot. He could be going to Los Angeles, a big reason why they drafted D'Angelo Russell, but he's not as polished in the post. And Jahlil Okafor is only 19 years old. Guys, Philadelphia Sixers fans, relax. Let the process come to you. This is going to be a 20 to 27 win season. You're going to be in the lottery again. You're going to have 4 first-round draft picks. They're all going to be lottery picks. It's okay. Just watch these 3 guys duke it out, and this team's going to win more games. Just because they have a postman that can score, and it's going to benefit. It's going to benefit the guys around them. Why I like it is because now the way you look at it, look at Brett Brown. Who was Brett Brown's teacher? Greg Popovich. Look at the San Antonio Spurs. Look at the Atlanta Hawks with Mike Budenholzer. What do? It's all about spacing, making the extra pass, playing defense. When you have post presence like that, when the Sixers play half-court offense, dump it into the post, teams double-team Okafor. Okafor has nice hands. He can pass from the post. He can. He dishes out. Covington hits an open jumper. It's all about spacing in the offense, and I think this is a good fit. People look and say, look, this team, the Sixers need a guard. We want Russell. We're pissed we didn't get Russell. This team's not good enough not to take the best player available on the draft board. And they've done that the last 2 years. They've done that since Hinkie's taken over. They got rid of Michael Carter-Williams, who's nothing. Minimal NBA player. The Bucks are trying to move him. You get Joel Embiid. He's not Wiggins. He didn't play last year. But you know what? He was the number one pick in that draft if he didn't hurt his foot. And now you get Okafor. Russell, a good player, a guy I think is going to flourish in the NBA. Okay, he got taken the pick before you. You take the next guy on the board, you take Jahlil Okafor, and you know what? You have a dominant front court, and you have a guy that can put points in. A guy that can score, a guy that's going to draw double teams, and a guy that's going to help Nerlens Noel grow. That's what this is about. This is the year of growth. I think in free agency, they go out, they get Wesley Matthews, a guy that not going to cost a lot of money. He can shoot the three. He's not the best. He's a middle-of-the-tier NBA player. But it's a guy you signed for 3 years, and it's okay. He's not going to eat up a crap ton of money. He's going to score some points. He's going to hit some threes. He's going to help these young guys grow together. Those are pieces that you're going to need. And then you sign a big free agent in 2017, and then you start drafting for holes that you need to fill and fill out the rest of the roster. It's a process. Nobody wants to be patient anymore, but this is the year where they get 20 to 25 wins. You see some bumps in the road. You see who is starting to set themselves, break away from the pack in order to keep a spot on this team. And you have 3 7-footers. What if this works? Then you have a dominant force in the NBA for the next 10 years. Think of it that way. I don't want to talk about the second-round picks either. Still talking about the draft here. And once again, I just want to say thank you guys for listening to Between the Lines. We are talking about the NBA draft. We're breaking everything down. And I want to talk about the second-round picks before we go into why I think the Los Angeles Lakers drafted D'Angelo Russell. The second-round picks, it's going to be short and sweet. There's no reason to have them. That's why I was bummed out, with the Sixers draft. It wasn't Okafor. Okafor's fantastic. I just felt the second-round picks, okay, there was no really good guards there, but they just drafted a bunch of big men that can stash over. They had 5 picks. Whatever. A lot of people are making a big deal out of it, but these guys never even make it to the league. I just didn't see the point in having them if they weren't able to help you get back up into the first round. But that's what happens. If you can't find someone to make a logical trade with, you take whoever you want in the second round. And now they're going to stash away overseas if they want to. If they show talent and show that that they're about to break out, you can bring them over. You have the rights. So I guess that's Hinkie's thought process on the second round draft choices. This gets me to the Los Angeles Lakers at number 2. Because outside of the Sixers, I think they had a very, very, very good pick. D'Angelo Russell, him matched with Kobe is going to be a very interesting combination. I think it'll be good for D'Angelo Russell to kind of go under Kobe's wing, should Kobe be accepting of that. D'Angelo Russell has that edge to him. He's smart. He thinks he's the best player in the draft. That's why I liked him so much. I love that confidence. And with Kevin Love opting out, LaMarcus Aldridge looking like he's going to opt out, they think we get Love or Aldridge, pair him with Julius Randle, then you have Kobe, and you have D'Angelo Russell. You're a better team. and they are a better team, and I think they're going to be very active in free agency, which is why they made the move of getting Russell. Kobe does not have a lot of time left. Russell, to me, is going to be a stud. And now, Russell, after a year with Kobe, can lead them into the future with Julius Randle and with the free agent that they signed this offseason. It's going to be very interesting to see how these players, pan out and turn out. I'm just very excited for the Sixers. I love the pick of Jahlil Okafor, and I'm excited for the season to get underway to see if Embiid plays, and if he does, what those three can do on the court together. All right, we're going to come right back, talk about the Phillies, and wrap up the show. This is Matt Namo, Between the Lines. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, it's the final segment of the show, and breaking news this afternoon: Ryne Sandberg resigns as Phillies manager, and it's so heartbreaking. They're 26-48. I mean, I can't fake my sarcasm any longer. This move, it doesn't. It means nothing. There was a lot of hype around Ryne Sandberg about his managerial skills. Chicago interviewed him twice, turned him down. Philly brought him right up the ranks, fired Charlie Manuel halfway through the year and lets him take over. They sucked. He's 40 games under 500 since he's been manager. Let me see right now. 119 and 159. 119 and 159. And I'll be honest, it's not all his fault, because this team has absolutely zero talent. He makes no good moves in a game. He's lazy. It just seems like he doesn't care. Just because you're a big name and he had a very successful career as a Hall of Famer, is fantastic. He's not a good manager. This team that is made of a bunch of veterans that shouldn't even be here anymore. They just don't care. They didn't listen to a word he said, and you could tell. And you could tell that this year, especially the last 20 games or so, Utley was yelling at all the coaches, and there's just a lot of trouble going on. This team is absolutely falling apart. They're waiting to be blown up. It's just that the general manager won't do it. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on the Phillies, because as we all know, it's going to be so long before they get good again. We're looking at 5 years at least, people. 5 years. 5 years of bad baseball. Hopefully Nola comes up. Hopefully Crawford comes up. Hopefully anyone that they drafted this year can come right on through. Hopefully they trade Cole Hamels to Pittsburgh or Chicago or Texas and get a bunch of young, talented dudes that will work out and pan out. Because what I'm seeing right now, and what I'm predicting right now, kills me to say this. And Michael Franco is a beast. And he's going to have a 3 to 8 year run of pure dominance. Why I don't think that will come until year 3, year 4. You really hit your prime from like year 4 to year 8. You have that 5-year stretch where just absolutely on a tear. That's the type of player that you're going to be. That's your peak. That's when you reach your peak. You make your money. You do good. I just do not want us to waste Michael Franco. I do not want us to waste him. And that's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is it's going to take a while. It's going to take so long to get competitive and good again that by the time that they're ready to make a run, Franco's going to be on the downswing. And I don't want that, because I feel like that is what the core that we've had. And yes, it was a good 5-year run, but they all got bad at the same time. And now you're in this position. I feel like the organization brings up guys too late. They hold guys off. I don't want them to do that with Nola. I don't want them to do that with Crawford. When those guys prove to you that they can play, bring them up and let them play. Just do it. That's what you have to do. I just do not. And they did the right thing with Franco. He's 22 years old. You've been hearing his name for like the last 2 to 3 years now. But you know what? He's 22 years old. Now's the time to do it. Because the peak of your career is usually from like 25 to 30, 25 to 31 in baseball. So this is the opportunity. Let's just hope that they can get enough young talent to where they can field the players, the team around him, and they can get good and make a run. I just don't see it happening. If they don't trade Cole Hamels by the deadline, if they don't move Papelbon, they're going to have to eat money. But they have enough money to where it doesn't matter. What they need is people that care about baseball, that want to see this team succeed. And, they're making moves about the general manager. They're, about their ownership is bringing in McPhail. He's probably going to, really just oversee and really take over next year. But they need it. It's been so long that this team has just fallen from grace without anything being done to prevent that. And it just needs to happen. So Ryne Sandberg ends his reign as Phillies manager. It was terrible. He did nothing for me. Was never a really big fan of him. Good riddance, Ryan. A lot less stress in your life now. That's for damn sure. That'll do it for me today, everyone. As always, Twitter, Facebook. I'm going to be debuting this on YouTube. I didn't mention that earlier in the show. This will be the first Between the Lines on YouTube. Very excited to hear about that. So listen to it on any platform you want, guys. Thank you so much for listening. The NHL draft is tonight. I want the Flyers to draft a winger that can score and a defenseman that can score in the first round because this team needs it. They have one line, and that's really about it. Hopefully things are turning around in Philadelphia. Patience, I preach, with the Philadelphia 76ers. Be patient. Let these guys play it out. They're going to make each other better. They're going to make the team better. This is a 20 to 25 win season. I say 23 to 30 if things fall into place and they get some breaks to go their way this season. All right, I'm out, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Matt Namo. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. This is Between the Lines. I'm out.